Good evening, Pittsburgh fans, and welcome to the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Joining me is my co-hosts, Edward and Tracy. Good evening, gentlemen.
William. Hi, hello, Edward.
Hi,
Hi,
Lois.
hello. I like that. Hi, hello. All right, so we are exactly 24 hours. Well, 23 hours and 59 minutes from the draft.
So we're 23 hours and 59 minutes from the draft. How excited are you?
Oh, I'm just ecstatic. Yep, here we are. It just snuck up on us, didn't it?
No.
I think it
No,
felt
no.
like it kind of snuck up on me.
I remember almost every day.
Right.
I don't know. I snuck up on me, so I don't know. But all right. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Most of the show, folks, is going to be draft oriented because there's a lot to talk about. Really, let's face it. A couple other news and notes for the Steelers we want to get into, but draft heavy. I guess we're going to talk a little bit about the Penguins, off-season things. I don't know. There's not much to talk about there. Pirates 9-3 winners last night over the Angels, 18 hits. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, we'll talk a little Buccos too, but the bulk of this show is going to be draft. Obviously, there's just a ton to talk about on there. So, all right, let's get right into it. What are you guys thinking? First round targets. What are you thinking here? Last week I kind of gave you a mock draft that I had. I'm changing my tune a little bit, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, and begin.
Tracy, you're up.
All right. I really would like Derek Harmon in the first round, William. So there's a couple things I really like about him. The main thing, though, is the hands and the bull rush. The bull rush is what I think we've been missing. I think Cam has been able to do it, but I don't think too many others have been able to do it, which is just moving that center back, moving that guard back. I think that guy could do it. Either way, I want to do defensive tackle first round. At pick 21, I want to hold there, and that's the way I want to go. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but Harmon would be my guy, but then Graham or Kenneth Grant as well. The three of those guys, any one of them would be serviceable for us. What do you think, Eddie?
I don't think the ones you mentioned will be there at 21, unfortunately. Very good players.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure they're going to be there at 21.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Real quick. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I was going to break down the rounds for everybody so everybody knows, but go ahead.
I think I don't even know how to say this, but I've done, I don't even know how many, we're talking thousands upon thousands of mock draft simulations. And every one of them today has the Pittsburgh Steelers taking at 21 Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why. It's switched to that. I'm not sure why. But apparently the visit that he had, it was similar to the visit that Dubas had with Jari, because they're absolutely in love with this kid.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. And I guarantee you, if they draft him, they're going to win the draft. That's all people are going to. Oh my God, the Steelers won the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They held tight. But the courage they showed, the conviction, the patience they showed.
Yeah, I got some thoughts on Shedeur. I'll hold it for a little while. But
in an ideal world, Trace, you're right. But they also have there's the biggest rumor out right now that I was reading, preparing for the show is one George Pickens to the Green Bay Packers.
Oh boy!
And it's not for two; it's for a fifth.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another thing.
Fifth, though, that would be a wide receiver would bump up to be a need a lot more then.
Yeah. Well, here's the other. Could this be the year the Steelers kind of go against the grain a little bit and just not follow suit like they usually do and trade back in this first round? Could that happen?
I think it all depends on how the draft falls. If they get to the point where you have several of the quarterbacks available at the 21st overall pick, the Steelers are going to be in the catbird's position, meaning they're really going to be able to define what they want to be. Do they want to be somebody who wants this year, or are they going to do what you say, Bill? Be smart, draft down, get picks, and take a swing next year.
Yeah, because here's what we're looking at. Round 1, you got selection 21 overall. Round 3, you got selection 83. Round 4, you got selection 123. Round 5, you got selection 156. Round 6, selection 185. That's from the Bears via the Seahawks. Round 7, selection 229 from Falcons via the Eagles. So, if this would be the year if they would do it, it would be the year to do it. I think is trade back in the first round in this one.
So Eddie, let me ask you this: in all those things, if Shedeur wasn't taken at pick 21, can they take him in a second or third round if they would trade back? Is he still there?
I think he will be, but after the first 2 picks, we're going to know, because if the Browns and Giants don't do it, they have the first and second picks in the second round, so those are going to be valuable to teams who draft down. Yeah. And then you got to play your cards correctly, and you have to put in some hype. If you're the Steelers, you got to sell the fact that you really, really, really want Shedeur or Jackson Dart, and then that's how you're going to win that part of the draft, because those are the 2 picks people want.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I all intents and purposes, I think they could do it this year. I think that might be a viable option for them. We'll see. Well, here's what I had. Let me just hold on. Let me
hit us up, buddy.
Yeah. Here's what I had. I agree, Tracy. I would like to see Derek Harmon, that Oregon defensive lineman, 6'5", 313 pounds. I'd like to see him in the first round. I'd like to see that.
He's got hands, natural leverage. He's our guy.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't know. Like Ed said, you're hearing the buzz. You're hearing that Shedeur Sanders. I mean, everybody's kind of linking him to the Steelers, and it all kind of stemmed from that visit. I kind of find it hard to believe that. I don't know. I just kind of find it hard to believe. I mean, why was that visit so good? I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't
How
get
much
it.
stock you put in those, Billy?
I don't put a lot of stock in that. I really don't. This is like there's a lot of people that project these things and that are totally wrong and still have jobs, by the way. Mel Kiper. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, okay. Do they have a quarterback issue? Absolutely. I mean, that should be the number one problem that you address. However, I don't know that Shedeur is the answer. Jackson Dart, I think, would be a better option if you ask me.
And if they're both not there, Bill, I still wouldn't mind in a later round getting a Kyle McCord or Will Howard or Tyler Shue, right?
Everything really, this whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I mean, and I hate to kind of, steer the ship in the opposite direction, but this whole thing has really handcuffed them big time. And we've said this before. It's like a broken record week after week. And by the way, we're a week and a half removed from him going on the Pat McAfee show, and once again, the train has not left Nothingsville. We're still in Nothingsville, and people have asked me, and I've had people ask me, "What do you think this deal is going to get done?" I said, the longer and longer it goes, the kind of the less I think it's going to get done. I really do. And I don't know why that is. I just have that feeling, and I could be totally wrong. He could be holding out for, he could be holding out for
Minnesota.
That, or he just, he's. I don't know. He's going to retire. I part of me thinks he's going to retire. I really I kind of have that gut feeling that he's just going to hang it up. But I don't know that. And we've talked about it before. We talked about it last week. What does the Steelers really have to offer him? If I'm him, I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, there's really, what does he see? What do you think? What does he think he's going to gain from coming here? Because he damn sure ain't going to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to tell you that right now. And you can say what you want to say. They're definitely removed from being a Super Bowl contender. Steve says DT or wide out.
I like it.
I mean, you can't disagree with him, but I just don't think if they knew.
I like that big Buka out of Ohio State. If we go after a wide out,
a Mecca.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not so high on him.
Yeah. I look at it like this.
Sorry.
I look at it. Well, no, I look at it like this. You need to do something with that defensive line, but you're also looking at the shiny new toy, which is the quarterback position. I mean, you talk about really having to make a tough decision right off the bat. The Steelers really got to make that tough decision right off the bat. It's basically, I look at it like this. It's basically one position that you can never have enough of, and another one where you need to find one in order to build a franchise. And obviously the latter is the quarterback position. But I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know.
They're definitely getting 2 quarterbacks out of this process. They've already confirmed.
Well, they have to. Yeah. I mean, you only have Mike Tomlin said the other day when he sat down, him and Omar Khan sat down with the media. What was it? Yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
That they're going to have 4 quarterbacks going into camp. You already have 2, Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. You're going to have to get 2 more. This whole talk about Kirk Cousins, I'm not buying that at all. I don't think that's going to happen.
Kirk Cousins, what do you draft picks?
Yeah, that's they keep saying they keep tying him. That could be a viable option for the series. No, I don't. I'm not going to.
Because there's nothing else to talk about.
Whoa, slow down just a little bit. It could be only because Billy, that's a place that could use another wideout.
Yeah, but you got a guy. You got a guy who's played in a dome basically his entire career, aside from Washington. But the last, few years, he's been in Minnesota and Atlanta. I mean, I don't know how that would be. And I just, this whole Penix thing, I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about Kirk Cousins. Atlanta doesn't really think he's the guy for the job. So why would you think that in Pittsburgh,
Well, I just don't. I don't think he got the fairest of shakes.
Oh, well,
I mean, not saying they didn't do him well money-wise. I just don't think he was healthy at all. Yeah. I don't think Rodgers. I think both of those guys. This is the year. I keep harping on it all the time, and there's evidence throughout the NFL on different injuries and how they come back.
Yeah,
I just think he didn't get the fair shot. I mean, he's not a world beater, right? Obviously. But excuse me, he's a quarterback that's thrown for 5,000 yards in the NFL.
Right.
He's going to be healthy. I wouldn't give up on that just because I think you put George Pickens in a 5th and go get him or something like that.
I would honestly like to see them go after Derek Harmon in the first round. Here's at 21, is he going to be there? I know.
Right.
I know you mentioned that as well, Ed. At 21, is he going to be there?
I mean, others see how good this guy is too.
Yeah.
It just depends on how
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You need a QB in your quarterback. Can change the trajectory of a franchise. We know this, but the Steelers have been on a bad trend here when it comes to first rounders. I mean, it's been a bad run for them as of late. At some point in time, you got to get one right.
Yeah,
you do. You got to get one right. Hate to say it, but you got to get one right at some point in time.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I'm gonna give you what I think about Shador Sanders. Um,
Give it to us,
I
Dave.
yeah, I made some notes on him. Just I what I've seen of him um, at Colorado, at Jackson State. Uh, some of the prognosticators, some of the experts, what I've heard, some of them talk. Um, I tell you what, Jim, Jim and Pat are very good at moving the chains on Sirius XM. They're very good at breaking down what to look for in a quarterback. But here's what I come up with. Sure, I think he's an average athlete. I'm just going to say it. I think he's an average athlete with an average arm. I think his arm isn't very. It's not that. It's not that great. I mean, it's an average arm. Um, I've heard a lot of people say he has questionable footwork. And he lacks basic QB fundamentals. Um, you know, can't like I said, average arm. Hence, he can't throw a long ball, but he's very accurate on short and medium passes, and I've seen that from him. He is. He's very accurate on short and medium passes. He also is tough. I mean, we saw him get killed last year in Colorado. And I think he has poise. And the lacking basic fundamentals, QB fundamentals. I mean, hey, you can pretty much say that about every QB rookie, right? I mean, they're going to come. They're going to
You
come to the NFL.
describing him, he sounds like somebody else that played quarterback for the Steelers for a while. With you describe, it's almost like a backyard football player, right?
Isn't it? I was just gonna, yeah. I was gonna link the two together, but you did it for me. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
No, I thank you.
Tomlin came out today and wanted to reiterate how tough he is. Why, I don't know. Billy, he's barely 6'1".
Well, they have him at 6'2".
At the combine, he made
Yeah.
6'1" and an eighth. So
Yeah.
he's just 6'1". That's all he is.
They have him listed at 6'2", 212. So
He might be 212 because he's not 6'2". Maybe with this.
I agree.
You
I
know,
agree. I agree with you. He's
and I watched a lot of
undersized.
his. I was so busy at my government job today. I watched a lot of his throws. You compare him to Jackson Dart. You compare him to the other players that played. There were some tight window throws. He doesn't have a lot of tight window throws. He just doesn't. The offense was not made that way. He hit a couple crossing routes. He hit a couple dig routes, but he doesn't have pro throws. And what I mean by that, the layered throw. I got my linebacker underneath. I've got to get it over the linebacker to the wide receiver without overthrowing or underthrowing him. That's a tough.
So in other words, what you're saying is you don't agree that he's accurate with me.
Against the talent he played, yeah, the stat, you can't argue stats. He's, but it's not top-notch talent. It just isn't.
Yeah, it's not enough to retire somebody's number at Colorado.
No, no. But you
sure about that?
Yeah. How many players from the SEC are going to get drafted tonight? Tomorrow night.
None.
None.
Zero tonight.
Billy wins the question.
You know what? If I put it, I'd win that bet.
Yes, you would.
I'd win.
But the SEC is going to have possibly 17 from Texas alone.
Yeah, I know.
17 from Texas alone. That is a NFL breeding ground. The SEC is.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. He didn't face that kind of competition.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you.
The only positive they had in the draft was this is a perfect place for him because he'll sit for a year. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's not great. Not with the Steelers. that's not great.
Right. I mean, but that's one of his best attributes. I'm like, I do not know what's going on with that cat. I don't think I'd take him.
Well, I like Jackson Dart better. I've said that from the get go. Now he is every bit of 6'3". I think they have him listed at, or is he 6'2" as well?
He's 6'2" and a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just going by the combine measurements where they don't screw around.
Yeah.
I mean, they can list whatever on their website.
I just think I mean, if you ask me, I'm gonna maybe I'm going off a topic here a little bit. The most NFL ready QB in the draft, hands down, Cam Ward. I mean, hands down, he's the most NFL ready QB in the draft. Would you say that? Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's been to too many different places, too many games. He's learned many systems. He's obviously can learn.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Deion do? Deion coached his son at Jackson State, coached his son at Colorado. It never changed. He never changed the plays. His son's been in the exact same offense for 4 years, and he didn't light it up. 13-12 at Colorado, right? I mean, that's not lighting it up. And obviously, he's not the only one responsible for the wins and losses, but Cam Ward, he was like a magician.
Oh yeah, he was. And like I said, I think he's by far the most NFL ready in the draft. Edward, go ahead and read this one. I don't have my glasses on.
Robin Simmons, Sanders equals average quarterback. The biggest reason anyone is talking about him is because he's Deion's kid. Plus, Steelers don't need more poison in the locker room. That's a good point.
That is a good point. And I said that last week. I said I think it's going to be a major distraction. It's going to be like a Lorenzo Ball type situation.
But see, I push back on that a little bit because they're coaching at the same time. So he's going to let his Colorado team. I don't think the distraction would be just because he's Deion's kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and look at they had all of the reports are starting to come out about his interviews, and they're not the kindest reports. It says, where is it?
You mean Shador's interviews?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that
Shador Sanders faces scathing criticism ahead of highly anticipated NFL draft. So entitled was the quote.
They're saying that he's not he's not mature. Number one,
yeah,
that's been said. I mean, do you agree he's an average athlete?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You have the stats to back it up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Milroe to me is the best. If you're looking at a running quarterback and the best athlete, he's the best athlete in the draft for sure. Physically gifted, absolutely. Hands down, Milroe. I mean, they're saying Milroe's, they're saying, Milroe is would you agree with that? Milroe is probably the physically gifted, the best athlete in the draft right now.
At quarterback, yeah.
At quarterback, yeah.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I would like to see Derek Harmon.
He's our guy.
If he's not available, I'm going with Jackson Dart. I'm going with Jackson Dart, and that's where I'm going. So, looking at some other guys.
Tracy's got a list. Tracy, what else is on your list?
I already said Gagbuka at the wide receiver position. What about Jaden Higgins, or is it Savion Williams or Ty Felton? Those all would be good ones, I think. They kind of fit in the mold of like a 6'1", 6'2", and they're running like a 4.4 40. They're not the fastest, they're not the biggest, but they seem to be like possession wide receivers. I really think that's something we need.
How about Matthew Golden?
Probably
going to be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, they run too fast.
All right, here's one for you. And I heard this on the fan the other day. What if they just totally pulled the rug out from under us and went ahead and took a running back? What if they went Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina?
That'd be a good one.
Brilliant pick. He's fast, strong.
Yep.
Catches out the backfield, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
He'd be a full-time back.
What about Shamar Stewart, that Texas A&M edge rusher, 6'5", 267?
I mean, he looks just like Myles Garrett.
Sure
and also, are they going to move TJ? If they move TJ and they get something for him, say a second or a third, I mean, that's what, if I were them, that's what I'd be looking to do. Good teams do that because they understand that, you You have to make hard decisions like that to succeed. Because otherwise, you get Shamar Stewart on a rookie contract, right? And then you don't have to pay what Watt is ultimately going to want, which is $40 million plus. I mean, we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, how about that Nick Amonwori for South Carolina, the safety, big safety too, 6'3".
He's a bad boy, man.
Yeah,
he is a bad boy. He has measurables off the chart. I mean, a bad boy.
Free or strong? He's probably playing free at 6'3", right?
He's free. Yeah, he's free. Yeah.
What do you do with Minka then?
Right. I mean, that's the other problem.
Yeah. Right.
So,
I would say out of the ones I just mentioned, Stewart, I think, has the highest ceiling.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So
I mean, he does. It just makes you wonder what the. I'd just be interested to see. I mean, the Steelers can obviously get a quarterback later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that McCord, Howard, or is it Show? Tyler Show?
Shug.
Sorry.
Tyler Shug.
I think they would all be serviceable as our number 4, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about that, Amonwori, I mean, he's like, he's like that. That's a hell of a chess piece to have in your secondary. Hell, even maybe even front 7 at his size.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. These are big boys.
Yeah.
Big old boys.
So
it's going to be. I mean, really, it's going to start. I think really off the top of the draft, it's going to start. Does anybody shock the world go up and get Cleveland's pick? Does anybody shock the world and go up and get the Giants pick? Right? I mean, does anyone put a package together? The only reason they would do that is for Travis Hunter.
Right.
So I mean, what are they going to do?
Is Travis Hunter the one that wants to play offense and defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also the one that said he's not going to play if they don't let him do that, which I think is. I don't know that he was. Obviously, he won the Heisman because he played both sides, but there's no way you're telling me you're going to go one-on-one against the speedsters. Let's say they play the Miami Dolphins, and you're one-on-one against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
you're going to be fine. Come right back.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not.
Well,
he's not a better athlete than Deion. There's no way.
No.
And Deion barely did it. He played baseball and football. Right. Barely played offense. Couple here and there.
Yeah, it was.
He had a season where he did it.
No, he didn't do it. He had a couple catches. I mean,
it was gadget plays that he was in for. But well, I mean, this isn't 1933, okay?
Right.
This is not Sammy Baugh at quarterback and playing defensive back too, and punting. Punting. I mean, this is 2025, and
big boy football,
right? Oh, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, all I'm saying is, careful what you wish for, there, young man. You might be biting off a little bit more than you can chew.
Well, I mean, most of the athletes are trying to pick up either the offense or the defense. Imagine trying to pick up both game plans each week.
Try doing it at practice.
Right. Well, yeah, you're going to have to do it at practice.
But I mean,
you're not going to be a wideout at practice and then, a defensive back and a wideout come game time. Like you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work both in practice as well. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I'm just looking.
I talked about Amari in Hampton. What about Trevion Henderson?
He's a big boy.
Yeah, 5'2",
really big dude. That's that Florida guy, right?
Ohio State.
He might.
Who's the Florida guy that's 400 pounds?
Oh, that's a defensive tackle. Yeah, Watson.
Yeah.
He's the Ohio State guy you like, huh?
He's a running back. He's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Florida guy will be the heaviest player ever drafted. He's 420. He weighed in at 428.
Yeah. That's a space eater, like John Madden used to say.
Space eater. That's a freaking, I don't even know what.
Eater of worlds.
Bridge,
Right.
William Perry, plus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even anywhere near close.
Yeah. I like this kid, Jaden Higgins, too. That's Iowa State wideout, 6'4", 214. Big target.
Right. Yes, I like him too.
So I'm going to go back to Dion real quick. In his illustrious career, he caught 60 balls. That's it.
Yeah.
It was like one season.
No, caught 60 balls over his career. Most he ever caught in a season is 36.
That's what I'm saying. It was one season where they kind of gave it to him.
No, he got it every year he played. He had targets.
Yes, but that one season they made him a wide receiver for a little while, and then like mid-season they stopped.
Right, it was Dallas that did that. So I mean, he's a far better athlete than the kid he's got there now. I just don't think it's possible, but some foolish team will do it, you know. Yeah. And if you're I mean, it's just like getting a brand new corner. Your number one corner goes down. You're bringing the backup. What do they automatically do?
Yeah,
they go right after that. I mean, he's the same way. They're just going to keep sending dudes on go routes. They'll tire him out. He won't be able to do it. You know, I don't care what his fitness level is. It's not going to work. I mean, you could definitely line up a wide receiver, but are you getting 100% out of this guy the entire time? No.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, you know, this Jaden Higgins, man, if you're looking to maybe replace Pickens, it might be the guy. So
I just think Pickens is too much trouble.
Oh yes, he's you know.
Well, he's not a systems guy; he's a gimmick guy.
And you guys mentioned Tyler Show from
I did.
Yeah,
twice.
I mean, twice you did. Oh, okay.
Louisville, Oregon, and Texas Tech.
only counted once. Okay, but I mean, you're looking at a 7th-year guy. You're looking at a 7th-year quarterback. You know, 7 years. I don't know. He maybe should be pro ready at some level, right?
You would hope.
Well, I'd say he'd be good in number 4.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, he's a big guy, 6'5", 219. So,
right.
So, but
what is their
you know, here's the deal with this though. You know, some of the guys I just mentioned, you got a couple running backs. You got you got that. Well, another Iowa State wideout is this Jalen Noel. He's another one. So you know, you got a couple running backs. You got a couple Iowa State wideouts. Got yourself a 7th-year quarterback. You know, this is kind of like no man's land. You don't have a 2nd-round pick. But you know what? Things can change. Players can fall. Trades can be made. You know, so I don't know.
The over/under on quarterbacks in the 1st round is 2.5.
Yeah,
not sure how you get half of a player, but
yeah,
those are the odds right now.
Well, it's the law of averages, Edward. You don't really get a half a player. It's just you're throwing the dice, and if you throw the dice, you have 2.5.
Yeah, these are facts.
Right.
Maybe it's a small person, like Mike Leach tried to do.
Okay, so you know we talked about Harmon. You know that's my guy. That's my guy. If he's available, if I'm the Steelers, if I'm Omar Khan, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm going with him. I'm taking him. What about other D-line guys? If you're not able to get Harmon, what do you
have on the list?
Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant,
both from Michigan.
Yep.
I like. There's another guy, man. There's another guy who's a little bit quick off a little bit of Aaron Donald-ish in him, Walter Nolan, out of Ole Miss. Don't sell him short. He's another one that could be have those.
How about that? How about that Joshua Farmer out of Florida State?
He's been climbing up the draft board.
Yeah,
he was much lower, but now he's been showing up. So
we talked about Harmon at Oregon. How about that Caldwell?
Yeah,
he's another one out of Oregon.
The elite.
Yeah,
I think Graham's going to go top 10. He'll go to like maybe the Jets.
I think he'll go before our guy Harmon does.
And I've said this before. What about Elijah Roberts, SMU
edge
product? Yeah. What about him?
He's a bad boy. That'd be a great pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Harmon and Graham will be gone.
I do too. Harmon's not going to be there, unfortunately. I don't think
he's too good of a player to be there.
He's too good of a player, and everybody's is talking about him, and everybody's targeting him. And like I said, you can never have enough of D linemen. Never.
Plus, as we've been doing the draft for years, you're inevitably going to get a run on a said position. We don't know what that position is, but it's happened every year.
Yeah.
Where they say, "Oh my God," somebody takes one, and then it's all over.
And there was another guy out of Toledo too, Alexander. I think it was his name. Darius Alexander. He's another guy. He's 6'4", 305.
He's got a lower grade on him though, second to third round, so he might be there in the second, but you don't have a second.
Yeah. I mean, he did a 4.95 in the 40.
That's moving, boy.
Yeah, I mean that's moving for a 6'4", 305, 300-pounder.
Yeah.
So, but
that is an interesting one.
I mean, that's to me, that's kind of a blend of size and athleticism there.
You're dancing bear.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big bodies we're talking about. Maybe not the biggest names in D linemen, but I don't know. So
it's going to be. We haven't done a prediction, have we?
Hey, I'm going to throw this out too. What about Kyle McCord? I mean, if Syracuse quarterback.
Billy, the back end of the draft has tons of quarterbacks.
I know. That's what I'm.
I mean, you have the Tyler Shooks of the world. Then you have Riley Leonard. You have Gabe
Howard.
You have Quinn Ewers. You have your guy. Then you have Howard. Then you have your guy. I mean, it's loaded in the back end. They're going to get two. Yeah. They have to get two in the draft.
It'll be one of those guys. It'll be like the 5th or 6th round to get one of them.
But you still have to add another. So I don't think they'd add a college free agent. I think they have to spend the draft capital on 2 quarterbacks and just throw it against the wall and see what sticks.
What if you we're talking safeties? What if you just look to the locker room that's in your same building and look at Donovan McMillan?
He's got a 7-round UFA grade on him, or undrafted free agent. I'd go for him.
Well, and I was talking about what's the punter that got hurt last year?
Oh yeah.
I know we had I forget his name, but what about Ben Sauls?
Another good one.
Yeah, I mean, what about Ben Sauls? Kicker, pitch kicker.
He is very good, left-footed kicker. I'm not sure where he goes, Bill. You think he goes late or he goes undrafted?
I don't know.
He's got a hell of a leg too, and
he's not Chris Boswell. I mean, I'll give him that.
Yeah, but he's kicking in that
no one is
stadium,
right?
That terrible A Crusher stadium,
and
he really can.
He really can boot it. Yeah. So
you're right. He's probably going to go in 6 or 7.
And I think you got to look for a punter too. What's his name? It's you had Waitman last year. Who was but what's his name that got hurt?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
He was only there briefly, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
He was only there a real short time.
He's Australian, and he looks like Bill Burr. So.
He does look like Bill Burr. Now you say that. I mean, he does. Trace, who else you got on your list as far as you have any quarterbacks?
Yeah, Trace. Let's hear your.
I think I've mentioned them all. Other than that, inside linebacker. Like if they ended up with some guys that might be there, like the Jalen Walker, the Stuntsman, is it Bossa, Carter, or Penn? Like I wouldn't mind them just stacking the middle linebacker position too. Probably one of those guys that has a little bit of speed to him.
Where do you go? Where do you get that? 3rd, 4th?
Yeah. Yes. Probably 4th or 5th is where we'd be looking for that.
There's a lot of quality ones there. I mean, there's a couple that are undersized but are fast from Penn State. There's another kid from Oklahoma State that got speed but are just undersized. I think that's a great idea. The problem is they just don't have that many picks.
And right. But they've got some comp picks on the back end that they might be able to use on some of that.
Not this year. They don't have any comps.
Really?
No, they didn't lose anybody. I mean, the comp picks don't start to the end of the 3rd round, and it's all based on play. So you're looking from the 3rd to I think it's 3rd to 5 maybe for a comp pick.
You sure? I thought they got 2.
They don't have comp picks this year.
And I don't know what I heard. I'm
check.
hearing what I want to hear.
I'll check again, sir, and see what they have. See if they got them. NFL draft compensatory picks. Let's see. For 2025, 2025. Let's see if the Steelers got any. Who'd they lose of note?
I can't remember. I saw a report on it 3 weeks ago, maybe. I cannot remember.
So I'm looking over it now. 35 comp picks were given. Third round, no Steelers. Fourth round, no Steelers. Fifth round, no Steelers. Sixth round, no Steelers. Seventh round, no Steelers. They did not get any at all. Team that got the most, there's the Ravens got 4, Cowboys got 4, Niners got 4 in this year's draft. And they go from the third to the 7th round.
Before we move on here, I want to just and I know, you know, I want to talk a little bit more about the quarterback position here for the Steelers. You know, like I said earlier in the show, Rodgers goes on Pat McAfee. Was it last Thursday? I believe
it was.
Yeah. And like I said, we're still in Nothingsville, right? We haven't left Nothingsville yet. Okay. And I mean, I don't know. People were kind of anticipating he was going to come out and basically, kind of hint what he was doing, and it didn't happen. Obviously he's 41 years old. He's contemplating his future. He's not sure if he's fully committed to wanting to play. I get it. I don't see an issue with that. And he also made the comment that he's taking his time and he wants to make sure that if he commits to a team that he's going to be all in. I got to respect that. I kind of, he doesn't, he also made the comment he doesn't need money. He's not trophy chasing. He's already won a Super Bowl. He's not trying to pit one team against another. These are some of the things that he had said in that Pat McAfee interview. There's a lot of people that saw this interview and kind of came to the conclusion or thought, well, maybe he's kind of like, contemplating retirement. I kind of agree with that. I think he's going to retire. I think he's going to retire.
What else would I didn't when he said it, it was bizarre. The only reason you play again is for a trophy. What else are you going to play for?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't truly
play to win the game.
The game,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
In all the games,
Edwards,
you get a trophy.
Yeah. Hello, you play to win the game.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard Aaron Rodgers say. I'll play for $10 million. Who cares? So why would you? It's as if he is God, and if he's coming down, he's going to bless everybody that he plays with, and somehow they're going to be better for the rest of their lives. I mean, that's what I took from it. Dude, all you're doing is trophy chasing, buddy. That's all you're doing at 41. You're not going to mentor anybody.
And I mean, people are saying, oh, well, the Steelers are handcuffed. I've kind of said that myself. You didn't put a deadline on him. He's trying to weigh every factor and kind of, make the right decision. I got to respect that. But the bottom line is Steelers are going to draft a quarterback with or without a decision. They're going to draft 2 quarterbacks.
Yes.
He's a 1-year guy. He's the best, I guess, kind of the what you're hoping is that if they do sign Rodgers, that he's gonna mentor the youngster for a year,
which he's not a
and
fan of doing.
which he's not a fan of doing, right? So
Plus,
here we are at Nowheresville.
The idea is that I would never sign him unless I got a commitment that he's going to be there for everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, the guy can still spin the ball, but you have to be there for absolutely everything. If the Steelers decide, okay, today we're all going to have a team shower, he better be there. You know, everything they're doing, he better be there.
Yeah,
because that's the only way you're going to get. That's the only way you're going to get your bang for your buck. Otherwise, another wasted year.
Well, and you talk about bridge quarterbacks. You already have one with Mason Rudolph. You know, so I mean, there you have it. I mean,
so it comes down to it, Billy.
Yeah,
we're at what are we at now? We're at 20.
I mean, I think they're going to have to sign a cheap veteran. They're going to have to do it.
Which veterans are available still?
Well,
oh, dude, let me read it for you.
I wish they would have signed Flacco, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would not have minded that.
He went to the Browns, so there you have it.
He's no dummy. Hey, dummy.
You big dummy.
I mean, I'm going to say this. List all the quarterbacks that are available. That it would be list quarterbacks that would be a clear upgrade over Mason Rudolph. How about that? And not going to cost you, a lot of draft picks or money or I don't. There's not a lot out there. I'm going to be honest with you.
There's not a lot out there. You have obviously Aaron. You have Carson Wentz, Tyler Huntley, Jeff Driscoll. That's kind of about it. There's Jake Fromm, Desmond Ridder, CJ Beathard, but I mean, Bridgewater, who the heck knows? He's going to go back and coach and then come out. So there are. I mean, obvious one would be Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
and you've said that 1,000 times.
Well, yeah, and we mentioned Kirk Cousins earlier in the show. What do people see in this guy? What do people see in this guy?
Consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his numbers,
I mean, I'm going to say this: he's not real good at winning playoff games. I'll put that out there.
But if you look,
he's consistently not winning them.
He'd fit real good with Mike Tomlin. I mean,
he would. But look at the team. I mean,
wow, that was a shot, huh?
He's a small part of those
shot over the bow, huh?
I don't think it was over the bow. I think it was directly at the mast.
Okay. It was directly at the mast.
Perfect.
Right. I think that's what we did. I think that the fact of the matter is, again, it's the number one position in the sport in which they all work, and they failed. And there's going to be no repercussions. Now you're stuck in quarterback purgatory, only ever hoping that you hit on one.
Right.
I mean, it took them from 79 to 05, right?
Yeah, 04.
To get a Super Bowl, I mean, to get a quarterback went to 04, and they're just going to they might as well take that Browns jersey and start the Pittsburgh one, right?
Oh,
they have to. If you don't swing for the
fence, about that.
I mean, how many they already had?
Yeah, I don't think that's.
But just let's start, okay? Who'd you have after Ben left? Yeah, Trubisky. He started, right?
Yeah.
So Trubisky started a game. Then you had Mason Rudolph start some games. Then you had Kenny Pickett start some games. Then you had Justin Fields start some games. And then you had Russell Wilson start some games. How many is that? That's 5 already.
Right.
5 in 2 years.
It reminds you of the late 90s when you had Cordell Stewart, Mike Tomczak, Kent Graham, Pistol Pete Gonzalez. I mean, you just
Pete Gonzalez. I remember him.
I mean,
don't forget about Devlin Duck Hodges. He's played when Ben was hurt.
Yeah.
Pete Gonzalez. I actually was jogging with him one time up in Clarion.
Wow.
I'm sitting there jogging and look over. I'm like, that's the Steeler. That's that guy they just drafted, isn't it?
Yeah. Where do you live? I will follow you home.
No, I knew exactly where he was. I knew why he was on campus too.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Have your Have your popcorn ready. It's going to be an interesting draft. Yeah, they're all interesting, right? I mean, it's but
They were giving a little bit of noise to Green Bay because it's tough to get there. Wait do they have to do what they have to do next year? Holy Moses!
I know. Yeah,
They hadn't seen nothing yet.
yeah.
That's going to be 6-8 weeks of hell.
Real quick, some NFL news. Chargers and Lions are going to be at the Hall of Fame game. So
Nice.
that's going to be the Hall of Fame game.
Are we doing a prediction for the pick or what?
I thought we did.
We can.
Harmon.
What do you want to do? Position or person? Or side of the ball? We can make it real easy and 50-50. Or we can go position or we can go person. How about we go position and person?
Okay.
If they take X, then they're going to get Y.
Okay.
So since I'm not the most passionate Steeler fan, I'll interview you guys. All right, Trace, you are Omar Khanjob, Billy's nickname, not mine. 21st overall pick. Everybody you want is there. Who do you take?
Oh, that's easy, Edward. I would take the defensive side of the ball, defensive tackle, and I will take Harmon out of Oregon.
Billy, different question to you. You are now, what's his name? You're Waddle, or what's his name? Weidel?
Andy Weidel.
Andy Weidel, right? From Mount Lebanon.
Sure.
You're advising Omar Khanjob. Now there is no Harmon. What do you do? Everyone else
going
Harmon's
Jackson Dart, baby.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Good one.
Billy's taking Jackson Dart.
Yep.
I think they're going to go on the offense side of the ball, and I think they're going to take Shedeur. Now, I'm not a huge fan of that pick, but
I'm not either. But
or they're throwing.
If they do, I hope he's everything we ever needed.
The question was, who do you want me to? Who would I advise them to take? I'd advise them to take Jackson Dart.
Yeah. I mean, here it is the lying season for another couple hours, so
they
could be throwing up a massive smoke screen, but everything's pointing to that.
What time do they start tomorrow? 7?
8 o'clock, sir.
8 o'clock. Yeah.
Titans will be on the clock at 8:00 something.
Yeah. So
Steelers aren't going to pick until freaking it's 10 minutes a pick.
I was just going to say I'll find out what we picked when I wake up.
6, 12, 18. You're talking between 11 and 12 they're going to pick?
No.
Right, maybe 10:30 to 12 maybe.
Right. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little Penguins, obviously.
Oh, switching gears, sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, everybody tune in. Like I said, just to let everybody know, we're going to be doing the Gridiron Weekly. We're going to be switching it to Friday. We're going to kind of do a first round, first round recap, and then kind of preview the second round. So, Penguins. Kyle Dubas had an interview, like the exit interview for the season. Said his long-term focus is to be a contender for the Stanley Cup again.
So it's not reading Chaucer for 6 hours. I mean, it's how obvious is that? What else are you going to do?
Right.
I mean, whatever.
Hawthorne by the fire.
Yeah.
And Ryan.
I mean, I think what's going to happen here, guys, next year is Penguins are going to accelerate the rebuild. They're going to try to get this thing done. They're going to try to fit Crosby's timetable, and it's just not going to work out. It's just not going to work out. And if you're Sidney Crosby, at what point do you kind of, I don't know. At what point do you say enough's enough? I mean, I don't know.
That's a great question, Billy. At what point does he say, unlike Rodgers, well, I'm not here to go chase a trophy. I'm here to, I mean, let the dude get another trophy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's still got worth this year. Every year the worth goes down. But what was the name that went from Boston to Colorado, defenseman?
All
those
Chara.
years. No, played for Boston.
Zidane or Chara?
Nope, never got. He went to Colorado and got the cup. What's his name? Good Lord.
Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, he was close to 40, and they're like, all right, dude, you're a trooper. Where do you want to go? And he got the cup.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Same thing I would do with Crosby.
Yeah. I'm going to say this about Malkin. He's not going to prep much in the summer. He's just not that kind of guy. So
Well, he's
what's
he's
that?
in shape, he's in shape for Russian training.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's for what, eating borscht?
It's just like he's in Scottish shape.
Yeah.
He's wiry.
Yeah.
He's Russian.
But what's that translate into at his age? You know what that translates to? That means his production and is going to continue to go down, right?
Yeah.
So
They don't. And here's the problem: is that the talent the Russians have is through the roof. It truly is. Some of the most talented people, skaters, scorers, they don't have that drive, which is kind of weird.
No, it is.
They don't have that drive to put in the extra effort to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
What does it mean for Letang? Hole in his heart?
What I'm hoping
play.
What I'm also hoping for is Eric Carlson get traded.
Yeah. God, that salary's so big.
I think you retain that. What is it? $3 million per the remaining 2 seasons. You retain it. It'll be money to me. That's money well lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's been the worst player the past 2 seasons, and how he has failed time and time again is it's mind-boggling. How a guy could fall that bad. But it's happened. So
it really is.
I'm really scared next year that they're not going to make the playoffs again, and that's going to be 4 seasons, and that's not going to be good. So,
well, they bring back the core. They're not going to win the play. They're not going to win the. They're not going.
Yeah,
just not doing it. Too old.
Yeah. I mean, I like some of these wingers that they got. The young guy like Rutger McGroarty. I like him. Even some defensemen, Owen Pickering, at Vasily Pomerev. I mean they have Koivunen. He's another guy. They have some youthful energy.
2 Utes.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. And then the other question is Coach Sullivan going to use these players properly?
Well, the other question would be, why would we still have Sullivan after all these disappointing seasons?
It seems to be the theme in the town.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping Sullivan uses his young players properly because he has some. And then you look at the goaltending situation. I'm worried that Tristan Jarry came back and played halfway decent coming back, from being sent down. I'm worried that they're going to look at that and say, oh, we're going to keep this guy as the number 1. I'm also worried that this Murashov, the Sergey, the youngster, I'm worried they're going to rush him in too fast and
Yeah, because he was down 2 levels, huh?
Yeah. So
he did well at.
I mean, if you want to win, Kyle Dubas says that he wants to win, then you got to get rid of Jarry because he's the guy that does not win. So got to get rid of him. So you shouldn't have signed him to the 5-year deal in the first place, but that's water under the dam now. So, but
under the bridge.
So. All right, let's talk a little Buccos. What the hell happened last night? 9-3. How about Andrew McCutcheon having that 3-run homer?
They had a lot of hits.
18 hits total to beat the Angels on this West Coast swing. I know they're going to be.
Angels are
god. I'm just looking for my phone. I'm on my phone.
I was going to say the Angels aren't nothing to write home about.
Are they playing tonight?
Yeah, I feel bad for Mike Trout. The guy should have left years ago.
Yeah, he's got those back problems, man.
Now he does, yeah.
Yeah.
But had he not had to do everything, that guy would have been a historical player.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Pirates, you got the Angels, and then you move to the Dodgers for a what is that? Is that a 4-game series?
I believe it is, sir. I'll let you know. Un momento, per favore.
I mean, I know there's a lot of that is a 4-game series. Yeah. Yikes.
Yes, it is.
So
can't wait for that one.
Yep. So 9:38 tonight, first pitch. 9:38, first pitch. Okay, got it. So, and then next week to come home against the Cubs on Tuesday. So
who are red hot.
yeah. So it's not going to get any easier for the Pirates here, and you know this is I don't know what do we. I know Ed, you had sent a message about 24 games in. How do you think about the over and under of wins? What did I select too? By the way,
You both went over.
Okay.
It was set at 78.5, and not 70 points. 78.
I thought I went under. I thought I
Maybe
said
you did.
76.
Yes.
Billy went under. I went over.
Yes.
Yeah, Tracy went over, and I went. I said 76. I'm still sticking with 76. I think they get 76 wins this year.
Trace?
I think it could maybe even fall more. I think you're maybe looking at maybe even 74, 72 range.
So I had the French native from another place in my office today, and we were talking about revenue in baseball, and we went over the revenue of different teams. So this was 24. The Pirates had revenue of $297 million. They had $100 million in salary and whatever. So they made nearly $200 million. Every other team made more money than the Pirates. Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody made more money than the Pirates. So then you looked at the teams that made, lots and lots of money. So you can go up to $242 million where the Sox are, and the luxury tax on that was $19,000.
Right.
And the Sox made nearly $600 million in revenue.
Yeah.
It is possible to go up in salary and increase your revenue at the same time.
Sure.
It truly is possible.
Absolutely.
Why this person doesn't do it, I don't know. Don't know.
You know what? Who knows? I mean, it's the big question. And I don't know whether you knew, but Sportsnet Pittsburgh, they said that they were on one of the telecasts. They were chanting "Sell the team," and they were blocking the audio out.
Yeah, they went mute.
That's hilarious.
That guy can't spend money. He's got generational wealth. He can't spend the money in 10 generations. The money that he has. So what if you make $50 million less? What does it matter? You make $150 million.
It matters to him. He doesn't,
But it defies all logic and theory about economics and business profile, business, a business plan.
Here's what I want to ask you guys: does Derek Shelton survive this season?
No,
I don't think he does. I think they're going to move on from him.
They have to.
And I think like I said, I think he's your example of a guy who failed upwards.
Yep.
And I've said that before. But I give him a little bit of a leeway because he has nothing to work with. However, on the flip side of that, I know I keep going back and forth. He has made a lot of bad decisions. He's made a lot of bad decisions.
Yep.
Pulling pitchers too early, keeping pitchers in too late. Lineups. It seems like every game he has a different leadoff hitter. He's constantly changing the lineups. I get it. You're trying to see what fits and what works, guy. You can rotate line. It's nothing's going to work. Okay,
he needs a haircut. He needs to work on his facial hair too. All that. He needs a whole ensemble.
So, but yeah, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to be the scapegoat. I think he's going to be the one that they're going to say, "Here, see, you say we don't care. We just got rid of our manager. We just lost." I tell you what. I just looking at this at what they got coming up. Okay, here's what they got coming up. After the Angels series, you got a 4-game series with the Dodgers. Honestly, I would not be surprised if they get swept by the Dodgers
again. Yep.
I mean, you got the Cubs. Maybe they salvage one of those. You got San Diego coming in right after that. Okay, you're away at St. Louis. You got a day off on May 8th, and then you open up a series at home against Atlanta. Then you got the Mets. Then you got the Phillies. Then you got Cincinnati. Then you got Milwaukee. Then you got Arizona. Then you got San Diego again. Then you got Houston. Then you got Philly. I mean, I don't see them sweeping a series. Maybe a home series in June 9th through the 11th against Miami. Maybe they could maybe get 2 games or maybe even sweep that.
That might be
I'd
one
say-
we quit watching instead
Well,
of July this year.
My whole point is what I'm trying. The point I'm trying to formulate here is you look at some of these series that you got, and boy, if this really goes south, let's say out of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Let's say out of the next 30 games, you're going to be facing the Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, Cardinals, Braves, Mets, Phillies, Reds, and Brewers in the next 30 games. Let's say they win 6 of those. 6 let's say they go let's say they go 6-24. Shelton's gone.
Season's over. Yeah.
Shelton's gone. He's gone. He's not going to make
Yeah,
it.
they go 10-20. He still has to be gone.
He's not going to make it. I mean, that'd be the 25th. Would be 30. Would be the 30 game mark.
If they're not in the top 2 or 3 by July, he's gone for sure. Either way.
Yeah, he's gone. I think he's gone before Memorial Day. I think he's good. Because, like I said, you got the Dodgers, you got the Cubs, you got the Padres, you got the Cardinals, you got the Braves, you got the Mets, you got the Phillies, the Reds, and the Brewers, and the Diamondbacks, and the Padres again, all before Memorial Day. You're done. You're done. He's not going to make it. Before, he's not going to make over and under. He makes it past Memorial Day.
I say over just because I listen to Billy and Trace, and they say the owner's cheap and he doesn't want to do anything. So I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go under. So.
Jordan.
All right. Let's wrap this up here. So let's talk a little Riverhounds. When the hell are they going to start scoring? This is we cover this team, and that's a question we ask. I don't know.
It's a question we asked in the press conference as well.
Yeah.
They're completely not. Williams doesn't. He might as well just not play. They cannot measure his speed. They cannot. They are never. He never makes the diving run when they want him to. He makes it when they don't have. I mean, it's just completely out of sync at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Last week I did the write up, and it was a painful one. That game was hard to watch. That game. It was hard to watch. The whole time I was watching it, I was trying to formulate my write up, and it was like, wow, this team is really like they just don't have it tonight here. 2-1 Loudon United FC 2-1 winners.
And they had a beautiful blistering shot, upper 90.
Yeah,
but they only get you get a glimpse here, a glimpse there. They're not really. I don't really. What do you do as a manager, Billy?
Bob Lilly has his work cut out for him. He really does. So, but yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a
smooth.
Yeah, I mean, we covered the last game. Obviously, it was at Highmark. Was March 22nd. Wow, it's been that long. You 1-0 winner over Hartford, and then or I'm sorry, Birmingham was the last. Yeah. March 29th was the last.
Alabama
2-0. And then April 12th, lose to Charleston Battery 2-1. You beat the Columbus Crew 1-0. In the U.S. Open Cup, you lose last weekend to Loudon United FC 2-1. Now you've got one of the best teams in the USL that you're going to face at 4-1-2 in Detroit City FC. Got your work cut out for you there too. Yep. We're back. We're back down at the field on May 3rd when they face North Carolina FC. That's a team that's kind of evenly matched when you look at it. So. But,
that'll be a good game.
Yeah. So and the river and also the Riveters are going to start here soon, I believe, right?
May 16th. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, everybody check out our stuff with the Riverhounds. As most of you know, Ed and I are beat writers for them. Stream Punk Entertainment. We enjoy it. We love it. But yeah. So, all right, Trace, let's close it out. What about the girls on the gridiron here?
Right. Passion. They have April 26th. They get started. Tampa Bay Inferno. And then May 10th, they're at the Philly Phantoms. And then May 24th, they're down at the DC Divas. Then they come for their homestand. They go back to Tampa Bay Inferno at home May 31st. Philly Phantoms June 7th. And they finish out with the DC Divas at home. 6 games.
We'll see you
there.
They travel to Tampa, Trace?
They do. Tampa, DC, and Philly.
Well, those are travel. I'm just shocked they're able to have that kind of budget to travel to Tampa, you know?
I'm hearing you. They have players from all over. Remember last year they had that one player from California?
Yeah. That's going to be a good season. Maybe we'll get out to a game.
I ain't scared. That'd be fun.
We'll get Tracy up in the booth.
We need Tracy to be the press. We need to get press credentials.
I guarantee they can get them.
Yeah, as I say, Scott, if you're listening, I know you could probably get that done tonight. If
Pittsburgh Passion,
Scott could probably have that all sealed and signed and delivered tonight.
Yep, probably
for that. Yeah,
and they would love it. They would love somebody.
Yeah, they would. So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, it's been fun. We'll be back at it next week. Next week, I don't know. We may have a guest on next week. We've had him on before, but he'll be hopefully breaking down the draft and everything for us. So, the expert. But yeah, look for that. And I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about with that. I mean, that's we practically, what was it, almost 50 minutes we talked about the draft, basically. I'm sure next week it's going to be kind of recapping everything. But all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Check us out Friday night at 8 p.m. We're going to be doing Gridiron Weekly. We'll be doing, like I said, covering the first round and then diving a little bit into the second round as it gets kicked off when we're going to be actually on the air. So that ought to be interesting. But yeah, check us out on there. Like I said, we moved it from Thursday to Friday for this week. Hopefully next week we'll be on the same schedule with that on the Thursday night. But soccer and other things, we got our other counterpart that's a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So this is a very important time for him. They're in the playoffs and looking pretty good, I may add, as well. So, but yeah, so. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week.
See you.